Welcome to the Thought Leaders video blog, where industry executives share their insights and visions in today's landscape of live entertainment. JamieVosmeier, welcome to the Thought Leaders video blog. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So Jamie, how are you doing? I know that you guys have some pretty strict restrictions there in Atlanta. How are you holding up? How are things going for you?
Well, I guess all things considered, I'm doing really well. We are on lockdown right now, so I I spend a lot of time in my 17 square feet apartment. But I thank God I like where I live.
You do live in a great spot. So talk to me about the Fox Theater, and obviously there's no events right now, things are shut down. How are you and your organization responding to the COVID-19 crisis? What are you doing differently? How are you communicating to patrons? What's your plan?
So our marketing team has done an amazing job of putting together a marketing communication strategy that will take us through June right now.
Okay.
We put a message right when all this happened. We put a message on our marquee that said, "This is only an intermission. We hope to see you soon." And it's gotten picked up by NBC Nightly News. It's gotten lots of national pickup, and we're building on that. So we've done a great job of communicating via social with positive messages, and they've mapped out a strategy that's kind of gone from this is only an intermission and kind of not light and fun, and we've gone into thanking all of our healthcare workers and all the first responders and all the people on the front lines, and we're all weaving that into the I Am Fox, I'm Atlanta brand campaign that we started. So I'm really proud of our marketing team and all the thought and energy that they've put into communicating with our guests.
That's amazing. I mean, Fox Theater, such an iconic landmark in Atlanta. What's been the community's response to your communication to them?
They have loved it. They've taken, folks have driven by and taken pictures. I think that there's been a lot of trepidation on their part because we've had some major shows cancel or postpone, and there's a lot to navigate when a major Broadway tour makes a decision like that. That's like turning the Titanic, or even a one night concert is like turning the Titanic, but a major Broadway show. So all the communication that we've had to provide, we're also reliant on a million other people to help give us this information or even allow us to communicate. So our guests have been super patient and eager. I think everyone's ready to come back. I also think there's a little, trepidation about, is it safe to come back when we're all back? And, but overall, the message has been good from our fans.
Great. And so sounds like you got a plan through June. I actually got an email yesterday for Donna Summer, the musical, for June. So is that the first planned date back, or what?
That's our first Broadway show back. So as a part of our plan, not knowing when we're going to get to open our doors, we've talked about doing some sort of community event where we just open the doors and say, "Come back. Just come back and experience the Fox." We don't know what that looks like yet. We're still talking through the details of what that looks like, but just something to say we've missed you just as much as you've missed us.
I love it. So when the dust settles, it might just be a community event, not even a ticketed event.
It may very well be just, please come see us.
Yeah, great. And it's such a beautiful building. We had the opportunity to be there last fall. The Marquee Club is amazing. So thanks for hosting us there. It's a gorgeous facility. So when you come back, and I know you don't have a crystal ball, but when you come back, do you think things are going to change the way operations work? Are there going to be anything different that you're going to do to try to subside some of those perceived challenges or fears from the public?
That's been a hot topic for us. I think the good news is we've always been super clean. So, it's not, and even our guests have told us that time and time again. We survey our guests after every event, and that's the number one, typically the number one comment is so clean. And seeing 4,500 people a day, it's really hard to keep clean. So we are clean. But I also think, visibility, having just an additional visibility, hand washing stations are going to be part of our norm now.
Mm-hmm.
So our plan is to introduce those. I mean, nothing is earth shattering as far as what's going to look like, but I just think visibility of our housekeeping staff and that sort of thing will be key for us, and making sure that all of our staff are equipped with the information on how clean we are. Without getting into the weeds of it, we use EPA approved chemical, blah, blah, blah. But, but just making sure everyone is briefed on we really are clean and we're as safe as we can be.
So you talked about events and postponing events. So what's it like to reschedule those events? Obviously there's promoters involved, there's a lot of folks. What's that process like? That must be a challenge to look at the calendar, not knowing the exact future.
Holy smokes. I have to give it to our booking team. The challenge that possesses is just beyond. I feel like it's like watching dominoes tip, and when you're watching the little domino game. I don't know, terrible analogy, but that's in my head what I feel like looks like. Thinking about us, we're booked through 2020 into 2021, the Fox, we do 250 events a year. Mm-hmm. So when things think about that, and then think about a tour like Hamilton or Hamilton was scheduled to be with us for 5 weeks. We were able to reschedule it for late summer, early fall. But things had to move, and things had to move that were already booked solid, and Hamilton had to make decisions. That show's booked through 2022, I think.
Wow.
So there are so many things and so many factors that have to come into, even in a normal circumstance where we're not in a crisis, rebooking a show or postponing a show and rescheduling is not an easy task. Sure. So doing it where everything's up in the air. Everything's up in the air with artists. Everything's up in the air with agents, with us. I mean, it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
So you started this year working with Gateway Center Arena with helping to book and marketing that facility as well. Do you think that might create some opportunities to maybe adjust some bookings into that facility as well?
So yes, and actually, I think that's happened in this circumstance. I think 1 or 2 shows moved into the Gateway Arena, which is awesome. It's awesome. That was a really cool business venture on our behalf, on both venues' behalves. It's been a great a learning experience for sure.
Yeah, you get this curveball to kick things off.
Woo!
Good times. So obviously, these are challenging times. Challenging times require leadership. Who inspires you as a leader? Who do you look to for inspiration?
Well, right now, and I promise you, this is not me being, I need a promotion, but right now, our president and CEO is doing such a great job of keeping us connected, and you see the term grace under fire in real life. It actually chokes me up a little bit to know the pressure that he has to keep a 90-year-old organization that is an icon for our city and really a trendsetter and an icon nationwide, worldwide, and to kind of hold it together. And there's so many things that he's got to worry about financially, and he's put the people first. And I can't say enough about that. He's dynamic. It's amazing.
Alan Vela is amazing. That's fantastic. What
Well,
about
thanks
your
for saying his name. I didn't
leadership?
say his name.
What about your leadership? What are you doing with your teams? How are you staying connected? How's that going? I know those are, there's physical challenges there too. How are you managing that process?
Zoom. We've Zoom. We celebrated a birthday party we had a birthday party with one of our team members, and we did that through an app on our iPhone. But just daily, I text and talk on the phone with folks every day, multiple times a day. And it's not even business out. Like, there are no such thing as business hour 30. I'll get a text from David, our director of ticketing, and asking a question or giving me a heads up. So it's been challenging. I miss them so much. That part, I didn't, you think about the people that you work with, and we always say we spend more time with the people at work than we do our family. And then when you're quarantined with your family and you think about, oh my God, I miss my work. But anyway, I miss them a lot. But that's how we keep in touch all day.
Great. Yeah. I mean, there is the family, then there's the work family, right? Which is very real.
It's very, very, very real. And you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah. So speaking of that, there's people now that have found themselves at home in a different environment. Maybe they have some extra time because things are a little bit slower. What recommendations do you have for peers or community members that now find themselves at home looking towards the future?
Well, I think for me, my thing, take everything in doses. And I know I sound like a 12-step program, but taking things one day at a time. I think looking ahead in the doom and gloom and whatever you think, the conjecture that we put upon, well, this is what I think is going to happen, and I think this and this, I think it's been really, really helpful for me to not wear rose-colored glasses, but to say all I can do and all I can think about is what's happening today, and right. I'll deal with tomorrow. That's I guess, what's helped me through this time.
Yeah, agreed. I think there's a difference between positivity and optimism. And I think we're all optimistic. This is going to blow over, which it will, and things will come back and people will be excited, really excited to come back and experience, live events. I know I can't wait. Speaking about live events, and I know fast forward to when this is behind us, what performance or show are you really looking forward to seeing in the upcoming year?
Holy smokes, there's so many that are on their way. I mean, Hamilton, I think, is because it's such a beloved. I'm most excited to see that show open and get up and running. I think knowing the mountains that were moved on everyone's behalf to make that show happen, I'm really, really excited. But honestly, it could be a movie at this point. I could go and watch Mary Poppins sing along at the Fox right now and be just as excited.
That's amazing. Speaking of Hamilton, I think I shared this with you before, but fun fact, my great uncle is Aaron Burr. So I think I should get some type of royalties for Hamilton. I don't know.
I couldn't agree more, or at least a guest spot in the show.
Oh my God. Or just a ticket. I'll take a ticket. And then one last thing, before all this, happened and disrupted the industry, what was a very memorable show that you did see, before this happened that really moved you?
Recently, Wowie. I honestly loved, and I promise you, I see things other than Broadway. But I loved the tour of Hello Dolly. It's like, almost 3 hours of just joy. I do see things that aren't Broadway, but they stay in my head, I guess, more than anything else.
Awesome. Well, JamieVosmeier, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks again for having me.
Stay safe and sane, my friend.
You too. Hope to see you guys all soon.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining the Thought Leaders video blog. And remember, everyone can step up and be a leader in their own way. We look forward to seeing you next time.